Hey there, I'm Jen Wilson. Welcome to Leadership Lunch Chat. And with me today is my good friend Amy Vetter. Hey, Amy.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. Yeah, in summer and one of the last ones. Certainly the last one of July.
Yes,
So I can't believe that, by the
I
way. But
know.
anyway, we're here today to catch up on leadership issues facing the profession. And last week we talked about entrepreneurship and really seeing opportunity, and especially right now when it's very easy to list all the challenges and problems in our profession, but there's every challenge and problem poses an opportunity. So last time we talked about taking risks and making plans and having vision and trying to be nimble and innovative in the middle of having problems and maybe having too much. And during that conversation, we talked a little bit about differentiation and how important it is to be competitively differentiated as an organization or as an individual. How to be, we at Convergence, we always say unique, special, and different. What makes you unique, special, and different? And so Amy and I thought that we would talk a little bit about that today and kind of bounce ideas around about how to differentiate and kind of what not to do in differentiation too, perhaps. And I'm going to let you start, Amy, and I'll pick up wherever you go.
Sure. That's what we usually do.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, even talking about you and I. So, uh, a lot of times people feel competitive with the firm next door or the consultant next door or whatever. And it is really important to realize what your unique offering is or what's compatible, but not to be focused on what someone else is doing. So sometimes I find that people are too focused on what their competitors are doing, and that's their strategy versus really stepping back and thinking about what is your brand, what is your purpose, and what is unique about you, who really cares what somebody else does. And so you can look at Jen and I, which we're both consultants, we're both out speaking, we're both people that are helping accounting firms, but we still complement each other in the things that we do. And there isn't a feeling of competition. It's coopetition, I think, right? This is the word.
Yeah.
But that, that it actually grows in the fact that we're not sitting there feeling competitive with one another and appreciating the qualities of other people in the field. Because I think there's a lot of times when you talk about competition, there is a lot of feeling of scarcity, which there isn't. There's always enough business if you actually separate yourself and are true to who you are. And if you haven't taken time to really understand what your purpose is, who you are, what is it that you want to deliver out into the world, then what happens is business decisions become really hard. And so a lot of times in my own business, and we just went through a strategy meeting last week, that's the pressure test is the work we're doing aligning with our purpose? Does it feel off of our purpose? If it does, do we believe in it and do we need to change it so it gets more aligned with our purpose, or do we need to scrap it? And if you're not really true to who you are, you start feeling that feeling in your gut. You start watching everyone around you. And that's where the scarcity mentality comes in, instead of really trying to make sure that what you're offering in the world is unique, like you said, but you're also keeping an eye on the future. You can never just hold steady and where you are, and making sure that you're listening to what your customers are asking you for, what your clients are asking you for, and how do you actually are able to cater to them so that they feel like you're serving their purpose as well and it's aligned with what you do.
Yeah, a lot there. Um, you know, on the idea of differentiation, what are you good at? Where are your gifts? What are your talents? What are your unique abilities? One of our unique abilities is that at my company is that we really try to project out into the future and anticipate what's coming. And I think you do that too, Amy. That's why we're together. We look ahead and we want to talk about what's coming. We also want to talk about what's here, but we look maybe between here and what's ahead 3 to 5 years, and we try to prepare the people we work with for those things. Not everybody has the ability to kind of have foresight or predict the future, or at least have the courage to express what they think the future might look like. That's like a gift that an organization might have. And so it should maybe position on those gifts, talents, strengths that are different. I do think that in accounting, we are so same. Like I love this topic for accounting firms because there is a little bit of herd mentality happening out there. And we like want to position like the guy next to us, or that position like everybody else does, or everybody in our association does. And I'll give a couple of examples. We ask firms all the time, what makes you unique, special, and different? What are your gifts? What's special, really special? And they'll say things like, well, we have a real family feel, and we deliver a quality product, and we're committed to excellence. And boy, we have deep client relationships. And by the way, we have direct partner involvement in our engagements, and all that's different. And I'll be like, no, that's what everybody says. There it is, the laundry list of exactly like everyone else. You know what I mean? And so, and I'm not saying that to be mean or, poke fun. It's real out there. We think those things are unique. They're not. There's nothing unique about them. They are table stakes to play in the game. So what is it that you do that's unique? Is it that you, have a really special focus on advisory, and that you integrate advisory with compliance, and that you can describe the ways that you do that? Or is it that, you don't price by the hour, and that you look at your client's entire needs for a year, and you help them anticipate the cost of those needs from your firm, and you bill those monthly? Is it that you are capable of remote client service and willing to deliver engagements either in person or remotely, or in a hybrid fashion, which right now could be unique, special, and different, but won't be for the long run? But there's a lot of firms that are back to, we only do this in person, FaceTime's important, and starting to sort of put those norms back on their clients, and not all their clients are happy about it. And so that's maybe a place to differentiate. But recognizing that being just like everyone else is actually a problem. And you and I've talked a little bit about destination workplaces, Amy, and how important it is to be one. We don't want to be the workplace people leave. We want to be the one they're coming to. And the only reason they're going to come to you is because you're unique, special, and different.
Yeah. And part of being, really separating yourself too is, again, going back to what matters, what's your purpose, and so forth. And that is specializing in different types of clients and industries, where a lot of times we just take whatever comes in the door, but then a client doesn't see them in you, right? So if I'm actually going out and I'm passionate about health and wellness companies, yes, because I believe in what they do, it isn't the accounting relationship of why it's important, of the work that I do. It's that I'm helping them stay in business because I want their customers to keep enjoying the services that they have to offer. And I believe it helps the world. Environmental companies, social companies, things like that, where it has a bigger purpose. That purpose not only helps your clients understand who you are and why they matter and why it matters to you, but it also helps your staff feel there's a bigger mission and purpose around the work that you do. And so, I think a lot of times I'll see staff jump firms and they'll be like, oh, well, this is very much just like the other firm I was in, or they did it this way, or that's the issues that they have, versus, someone saying, that this firm is so different because of how we go about operating the business and who our clients are. And everyone's so passionate around the purpose, around the work that we do. And so then charitable work and all of that is around your purpose of a firm. It's not just picking any charity to do work with. It's actually giving back. It's that everybody is going to the clients for their own services and products because they believe in it so much, and everyone believes around that purpose. And then those clients are feeling the benefit too of being part of your firm because you're actually using their services and products because you care. It matters to you. So it's going a level deeper than what we do to the why we do it. And then that mission, your uniqueness comes out. It separates you from everything, everyone else, because you're not just talking about the accounting, you're talking about why it matters what you're doing, why you're trying to help them. Why does it, every morning you get up, in the morning to do this work, and why it's so important to you? What is it you're putting out in the world?
Yes. And differentiation is in the eye of the beholder, so it's really important that we, differentiate based on our strengths and our core purpose and our core mission, but it has to resonate when it falls over there, so it's not enough that it's just super compelling to us and we think it's awesome and special. It has to be special to others. And so understanding what your clients value, understanding what your team members value, understanding what vendors value, alliances, referral sources, prospects, all of those things is critical to really identifying that unique, special, and different, or those differentiators. It's really important to not just project the existing folks that you do business with, but the people that are coming up. And I think that this is that place where I talked about envisioning the future or projecting the future. There's this whole mammoth demographic shift happening in our country, and baby boomers are retiring at a super clip every day, way ahead of what they were retiring before the pandemic in 2020 or 2020. And so, we are seeing this real rapid rise of the next gen buyer, and the next gen talent inside firms is becoming increasingly scarce and in demand and all of those things. And so trying to find out what those differentiators are, not just today, but the ones for tomorrow that will attract those next gen folks, and moving the business toward those. So the next gen people want automation. They want to see that we're automating away repetitive steps, that we're maximizing technology. They value, you talked about community service, Amy, they value community service, but maybe not all the same traditional old school venues and methods of community service and give back. Firms that are kind of headed down the ESG path, and they're really focused on sustainability, and they're focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. They attract at like college fairs and things. Those firms attract a lot of young next gen people who want to talk about those things because that's what they value. And they're going to want to hear that firms are not, there was an old car ad, and I'm sorry that I can't tell you who did it. It's before my time, whoever it was, but it was like, it's not your father's Buick or whatever it was. And it was all about like trying to attract the next gen buyer and saying, this car is not like the old guy's car. And I think firms should be differentiating their business model by saying, we're not running it like they did. I think that would be unique, special, and different. But I just focusing on that next generation and making sure whatever you're saying and doing strategically and in messaging is going to appeal.
Yeah. And I do, I think when we talk about these topics, what is really important if you're a leader in a business and, when you're talking about next gen, how you get them involved in this process of where you go with your business, how you differentiate, that you are allocating time on your schedule and on their schedule to work on the business and not just in the business. And so part of working on the business is going out and learning about new opportunities and where the profession is going. And the AICPA does a great job of staying ahead with, whether it's blockchain or ESG or any technology initiatives, and all these different areas of ways that you could differentiate services, just to give you ideas and brainstorm. So even if you take one course on it, or you read one white paper on it, or whatever, it's there. It's just a matter of making the time to do it and making sure you're aware of what's up and coming, and does that seem to resonate. And when one of the things that I did in my accounting business was, I called it coffee talk. But I would sign people that didn't necessarily work together once a month for 30 minutes to just talk about the business, things that they had ideas on that could be better, or things they've heard about. Because they're the ones closest to the clients. They're hearing things from their friends that their friends are doing at other firms or whatever, and let them, surface up ideas as well that would then get presented back as far as what happened out of their coffee talk. So I'd give them Starbucks gift cards to do that. But what it does is give people time to get completely out of their day-to-day to really think about what it is that we could do as a business to make it either more efficient, different, or new service lines that seem like something we should test, and that someone would like to lead possibly from those discussions. But I think making the time to do this, we can talk about it all day long. But whether it's 30 minutes a week, an hour a week, you split it, you block that time on your calendar, and you don't give it up, because those are the things that are going to differentiate your business long term.
I love it. So what do you think if we make a quick list, like lightning round or something? If we make a quick list of things that we think next generation clients or next generation talent, just a quick bullet list of possible differentiators.
Not just saying hybrid work environment, but what's your hybrid culture?
And not allowing mixed messages inside your remote and hybrid culture.
Yes.
Having an actual unified one. And so it's not wishy-washy. Yeah, I agree. I would say also deep technical specialization in specific industries that's real, not just brochureware, or in certain very technical services.
Giving leadership opportunities to young staff.
You just said one a moment ago that made me think of this. Coffee talk, your coffee talk idea, encouraging innovation and opening up your, palms up, hands. Please give me feedback. Please bubble up feedback. Please talk about change.
That all partners have a voice at the table and can surface ideas or lead different initiatives, no matter if they're a young partner or older partner.
We figured out how not to track time anymore.
Yeah. Think like a corporation. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, where everything is on pricing, packaging, and subscription models, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Another one is we invest heavily at all levels, including our administrators, in leadership development and management skills, in addition to technical skills.
Having work-life boundaries, meaning what is your protocols that you're putting in place in your practice to make sure people aren't bothered on the weekend. So no more excuses of it's just the profession.
We are super fun. Like really, not just saying it.
What would define fun?
We laugh in meetings, we make jokes. We're even in kind of rough times, we try to figure out not jokes at others' expenses, by the way, but just sort of like make light. But also we schedule fun, and we have a fun committee, and they focus on fun that happens, by the way, during the business day. And so it is fun, and it's not like court-ordered extra work time. And we encourage people to bring their whole self to work. And so we want to meet their families and know their pets, and talk about vacations and travel and recipes and We take at Convergence, we take yoga classes together. And when we're together out on the road, we try to get out for a run or a walk or a hike. There's all kinds of ways it could be fun. But and by the way, because fun is one of our core values, when clients aren't fun or projects are perpetually unfun and
yes,
and in a like a painful way, we say we got to stop doing that. There's nothing fun about it, and there's enough work out there in the world and enough people to do business with that we don't have to perpetuate in painful, unfun circumstances.
Yes, agreed.
So that's a pretty good list. I'm sure there are more. I bet we could list 100 more things. and they wouldn't be deep client relationships and quality services.
That's a result. That's an outcome. That's not a leading idea, because that should happen because you're doing these other things.
Yeah, and it's also everybody says it.
Right.
So, exactly. I mean, there's nothing remotely unique about it because every single person says it.
Well, if you don't have deep client relationships, you don't have a business.
Yeah. And everybody says flexible right now.
Yeah.
So now there's 100 ways to differentiate flexible. One of them is using the words anytime, anywhere work and meaning it and having a complete system and process for doing it. I think you would crush in recruiting if that's what you could say and it was real.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot there. And I love talking to you, Amy, and I feel like, we never have enough time. And I'm sure we'll come up with something brilliant for next Friday. I don't know what that is yet, but we would like all our participants here with us. If you have any ideas, we would love them. We love people who hit us up in social or email and tell us, hey, talk about this. And we really appreciate you spending your Friday lunches with us. And Caroline, thanks for facilitating the back end here. And thank you, Amy. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks, everybody.